Sasha, welcome. If you would, your thoughts as you get ready for this year's U.S. Open.
Feeling good. Is it on?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, feeling good. Had good practice week. I think everybody's ready to kind of get going now in the tournament, and I think had two positive tournaments in Toronto and Cincinnati where my level has kind of been improving with every match, and until I didn't feel so well in the semis against Carlos. But all in all, positive in my mind, and looking forward to this year's US Open.
Great. Thank you. Questions in English?
Alexander, welcome back to New York.
Yeah.
You've had a star-crossed time of things in New York. You've made your first Grand Slam final here, but the world was in the middle of COVID, and there were no fans. And then the match itself with Dominic being so close. You made the quarterfinals the last four times you've played here, but you didn't play in 2022 because of injury.
Yeah.
And then last year, you said you were your angriest after you lost after a match, after you lost to Taylor Fritz. So how would you describe your U.S. Open New York experience in your career, given like those highs of your first major and those near misses?
For me, right now at this stage where I am, it doesn't matter. I think I'm looking for the last step, right? I'm looking to lift, one of those above my head once. That's what I'm looking for. I know that this season has been difficult for me at times. I made the finals of the Australian Open, and I had a stretch where I wasn't playing my best. I was, not really great mentally either. I was very frustrated with myself. I was not happy on the tennis court, and now I feel like going in the right direction again. So for me, it's about going the final step. I love playing on Arthur Ashe Stadium. I think it's one of the most beautiful stadiums in the entire world. It's the biggest stadium for us in tennis. I've had tough battles here, like you just mentioned, against Dominic in the final, where I should have won the final with how it went down, but I didn't. I had an incredible battle with Novak the following year in the semis, where he won 3 majors before that, and he was going for the Grand Slam, calendar Grand Slam. So I've had great matches here. It's about winning the last point in those for me. So I'm very hopeful I can do that this year.
Okay. Charlie.
Sasha, this tournament, certainly on the men's side, has been the most unpredictable for winners. I think it's 2008 was the last time someone retained it on the men's side. Just wondered, other than its place on the calendar, maybe that's the main thing, but why do you think it is kind of less predictable than the other?
Calendar. For me, it's the last one during the year. A lot of top players that have played a lot of tennis are maybe a bit more fatigued, maybe also mentally a bit more fatigued. I think in the last few years, our schedule has not been getting lighter on tour, with the 2-week events now, during Masters events and all that. So maybe that's the biggest reason, right? I think if you look at the ATP Masters events, the most unpredictable winners are always in Paris-Bercy, for example, right? Which is also the last Masters event of the year. So I think that has the biggest role to do with it, just schedule-wise, because the conditions here are if you're playing on the big courts, are close to perfect. You feel like there's no wind ever on the courts. You almost feel like it's an indoor tournament if you're playing on Ashe and Armstrong. So it's definitely not the conditions. It's just, I think it's the last one. And, with French Open, Wimbledon, and US Open, they're all very close together. And they're all kind of back-to-back, almost Grand Slams. So I think that's the biggest reason.
Okay. Bill and then Willie.
Hi, Sasha. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
At Wimbledon, you gave one of the most incredible press conferences I've ever heard, where you were so courageous. You opened up about being lonely, having hit rock bottom, no reason to wake up in the morning. And you said that you were going to try and find ways to get out of that hole. How's it going? Have you made some progress? Feeling the same? Feeling better?
Feeling a lot better.
Yeah.
I mean, after Wimbledon, I said that a few times. I put my racket down and took an extended time off. And I went on holidays with my friends. where I didn't train, I didn't play tennis, I didn't do anything to what I usually do, right? Because I think some of you probably know that even after the tournament finishes, the next day or the day after, I'm in the gym, I'm working out. And I didn't do that. I went and had some time off, spent a lot of time with my friends, got professional help also, which I'm still working with now. And yeah, I'm on the right path. I really enjoyed the last two tournaments. I really enjoyed being back on the tennis court. I think also when I'm joyful on the tennis court and when I am happy on the tennis court, I feel like you can see that a lot of times with my game and how I play and whether I show emotions or not. When I'm more quiet, that's usually not a good sign for me. So yeah, I feel like everything is going in the right direction, and I'm very happy to be here right now.
Professional help felt good, the professional
Yeah,
help?
it definitely feels good. It definitely feels good. It's a process. It's not over, within 1 or 2 weeks. I think it's something that you need to work through for multiple years for multiple past years of your life, and that's what I'm doing.
Really?
You knew what it was like to see Federer and Nadal and Djokovic in the draw all the time, and now, of course, it's Carlos and it's Jannik. What
Yeah.
is it like when Carlos and Jannik are in the draw, knowing what they've
Sucks.
done?
It's terrible. No, it's fine because I actually said that outside in a TV interview just now. Tennis is always going to produce new superstars. When Pete Sampras and Andre Agassi retired, the question was always like, well, what now? The men's game is in trouble. Like, who's going to be the next guy? And all of a sudden, Federer appears, then Rafa appears, then Novak appears. So in tennis, you will always have superstars. When the old superstars retire, new superstars will emerge to the top of the game, and that's what happened here. Roger, Rafa retired. Novak is still here, of course. He's still a force to be reckoned with, but we have new superstars in Carlos and Jannik, and that's a good thing. I'm happy for the sport because we need that, and I think the attendance in Grand Slams in the last few years has been an all-time high. How many people watched tennis on TV has been an all-time high. So it's great to see that. It's great that the interest in the sport is still growing with new people there. And if I can be a small part of it, I'm very happy about that.
Okay, last two. Okay,
Can I
one,
just
go ahead.
follow up
Go
on
ahead.
Yeah.
one thing? You spoke about how great it is for the sport, but you began with,
Well, no, but I'm joking.
No, I understand,
I'm
but-
humorous.
but in terms of trying to surmount that obstacle, knowing that those guys are there, how does that affect your thinking as you advance in the tournament?
It doesn't. I would be more than happy to play Jannik in the semis and Carlos in the finals here. I would be very, very happy to do that. And if I achieve my dream and if I achieve, the goal that I set for myself in lifting the trophy above my head, then I know that I really deserve it because I went through the most difficult path that there can be at the moment. So that's totally fine. I want to win a Grand Slam and I want to win the biggest tournaments in the world by beating the best players in the world. I don't want. Of course, if all of a sudden they lose first round or second round and I'm playing, I don't know, the world number 50 in the final, I'll sign that paper right now. No, don't get me wrong, but still, if you beat the best players in the world and you win a Grand Slam, you deserve it, and that's my mindset. And that's how I think about things.
Last two in English. 1, 2.
Hi, Sasha.
Hi.
Hey, so at this point in your career, you've improved so much, you've worked so hard on specific parts of your game, the serve, the baseline game. I'm curious where you see that improvement coming next and how much improvement is realistic to expect. Like, what are you expecting from yourself at this point?
I mean, I think there's certain parts of my game that still are worse than from other players. I'm not going to mention them now because the US Open is starting in 2 days' time, but I think there's certain parts of my game that Carlos and Jannik, for example, are doing better than me. There's certain parts of my game that I'm doing better than them also. So it's about also finding ways to beat the best players in the world, right? It's about finding the right patterns, finding the right training to do that. And that's why I went to see, Uncle Tony and Rafa, because I wanted to see and hear a new vision of what tennis in their mind looks like and how my tennis in their mind looks like, because Rafa, for example, he played against me for 10 years, right? So now as a spectator and also as opponent, he can probably give me the best advice that anybody else can, because he knows what it's like to be on a court with me. And you know, it was exactly that what I'm looking for, right? I'm looking forward to in those 2 weeks that we have now to beat everybody, or beat 7 players that are in front of me. I don't need to beat everybody. I just need to beat the 7 guys that are in front of me. And yeah, I think in tennis everybody can always improve. It's just as simple as that.
Last question in English.
You mentioned that it's been a difficult year for you in some ways, but you're still the number 3 in the world. Some of your peers, like thinking Medvedev, Tsitsipas, have kind of had rankings-wise tougher years. And do we sometimes underestimate from the outside how hard it is to stay at that top level? And do you have to keep evolving and changing your game? Like how does that work?
I think sometimes we forget that life continues happening also, right? There are certain things outside tennis court that happen in a person's life. Like my life is very, very different than what it was 5 years ago. You know what I mean? Like Daniil is a 2-time father now, right? Like that goes also into your tennis. Like my life when I come home from a tournament is also very, very different, because I need to take care also of my daughter sometimes and those things. So it's about evolving. Taking life into consideration into your tennis as well. Training maybe a bit different when you get older, doing different things when you get older. And sometimes you have rough patches. I had a rough patch also when, remember 4 or 5 years ago, I couldn't put a second serve on this planet. I couldn't keep it in the stadium. It was going anywhere. So maybe that's what's happening to them right now. But I'm sure once they get out of it, they're going to be top 10 again, because they're just that good. Daniil and Stefanos, they're very good tennis players, especially Daniil. He's going to be back to where he was, 18 to 24 months ago. But he needs to figure out how to handle the new situation that he's in.
Thank you.